This video starts out with some Nitro testing, but then well, I'm just fed up with Nitro testing for the moment. I just want to do something more mechanical, something methodical that makes sense for a while. So let's start machining the cylinders. Well, you'll see me start machining the cylinders after some Nitro testing, which, spoiler alert, troubles, of course. The raw cylinder castings for my new engine has arrived from Salevotech, the PiP2 engine. We're gonna start working on these probably this week, but now we're gonna focus on the fueling injection stuff. First up, there's some black stuff in my fuel, and I'm wondering what it is. If it is just like debris from this sitting forever, or if it is the fuel lines being eaten up from the inside. It's floating, so it's not heavy. So probably some, maybe the fuel lines being eaten by the nitro. Well, hopefully the filter will catch it and not clog. So let's forget about this. Let's pretend this is not there for the moment. Last time I wound this almost all the way in, and we didn't really get much fuel pressure or much fuel flow. And this only goes to 1 bar, and it did max this gauge. The thing is, there's a check valve in the injector, and that's supposed to be 1 bar. But I think I know what the problem is. I think there's supposed to be this stiffer spring in there, hopefully this one. It's been a long time since I bought this, and I think, well, I'm not sure which spring belongs to it, but I know this comes with a soft spring and a stiff spring, and as I was using this with a carb, I used the soft spring, and that's rated for 20 psi maximum. I've been going back and forth in my mind about this now, about how it'll work having a carb set up to run with a good air-fuel ratio on gas and then just inject pure nitromethane. So my first thoughts were that all the oxygen is already consumed by the gas, because we have a fuel-rich mixture for power on gas. Then adding nitromethane should not be able to lean out the mixture. But then there's how, if you were to mix that amount of gas with nitromethane, then you would run a lean mixture. Said if you mix that in the tank, even though nitro and gas isn't really hard, it is hard to mix that. Anyways, so it would be lean if it were pre-mixed before it entered the carb. And it doesn't really make sense that it won't be lean if you mix it in the case, because that's pretty much the same thing. The only place it matters, like, as long as it's mixed before it enters the combustion chamber, well, it'll act like it was mixed in the tank. Think about it, if the theory about adding nitro will richen the mixture, even though adding nitro to the tank will lean it out. If that was true, this would mean you'd have to inject the nitro after all the air had been consumed in the combustion chamber by the gas, and then you could inject nitro, like all the oxygen, when there was no oxygen left. And that's not the case, that's not what's going on here. So I'm pretty sure adding nitro, actually up to a point, adding nitro will lean out the mixture, and then you get to a point where you're past the rich point of nitro, and then it starts getting richer. It's not really a problem, but I don't think just adding nitro, a small amount of nitro, will make it lean. That's a problem. So add a lot. We need to add a lot, and the theory about just adding pure nitro is safe. That's probably not safe. Well, this means we can actually inject, alongside a carbon gas, we can inject methanol and nitro, and it'll behave in kind of the same way. Not add as much power, but a safer method. This spring is super soft. This one is not the correct one, although it is much stiffer and maybe it could be used. We'll just have to wind this in more. Yeah, it should be fine. Let's wind in a little amount here, like that. Then see how it behaves. So now with hopefully a little bit higher fuel pressure, let's see what the spray pattern and output looks like, and adjust accordingly. We might have to clean this again. I'm not sure if I got it clean enough last time. So I'm seeing about 3 bars of pressure, which is much higher than last time, but it's spraying super wonky. So I'm gonna take this apart and clean it again, and I'll bring you back. Information nobody will ever need, probably. There's a little brass thingy in there with threads and spirals and stuff, and I think I had it upside down. We'll see if it's better now. Is it better? Oh, so much better. A wide, nice spray pattern. Exactly what we're after. Perfect. Let's install this back on the carburetor and go from there. When I turned on the nitro, it went too rich, so now I'm going to try to dial down the pressure a little bit. Okay, dial down a little bit. Today on gas, our baseline is about 6 horsepower, and adding nitro brings it up to about 6.5, 6.6. It's not behaving like I first thought it would, and it's not behaving like I now think it would. With a higher pressure and higher volume I started with, it just bogged down and like it was running too rich. But is that running too rich, or is it the spark plug not being able to fire the super rich mixture? Who knows? Decreasing the amount, and we gained like 0.6 horsepower. Still, we had that problem where injecting less and it would just run on at when I let off, which might be because it's kind of ramping down and then creating a lean mixture. I'm not sure. I'm gonna think a little bit about ways to continue with this now. I need a little break from nitro testing. Let's start machining the cylinders. We're going to start with machining this surface, so we'll have to prepare this. Make sure there's some ridges and stuff that has to be filed away. So that's our first operation. Actually, the very first operation is warming up the mill with just warming up the mill, because it hasn't been used for a long while now. Excuse the noise. While that's going on, we're going to prepare these two surfaces for some parallels. These are not super precise, of course, because they're just bar stock, aluminium bar stock, but this is not super precise either, so it'll even out. All I have to do is remove these artifacts from casting. That. I'm going to center on the bore here, the cast bore, As you can see, that's a super uneven surface. Usually I would probe this side, this side, this side, and that side, and then that would give me the center. In this case, I'm gonna probe a bunch of points here and give me the average of the center. That should be a better approximation of the true center versus just 4 points. I'm setting it up to do diameter mode. 1x means it does it this time and then reverts back to the normal mode. And 12 points. So let's see what happens. Excuse the noise again, it's my space heater. And now it should be at our best guesstimated center of this bore. Let's start machining. First facing this surface, then getting some holes in here, and then next operation is facing these surfaces. I have a suspicion I've extended this tool in the holder and forgot about it and didn't put that into the software. Not checking that was stupid before an important operation like this. What do you expect? This is two-stroke suffering after all. Well, the part didn't move. We'll have this to remind us. Okay, let me re-zero this tool and start again. And as luck would have it, my tool setter is obviously not flood coolant resistant, even though, well, it's meant for this stuff. It's just a cheap one though. And the plastic here has gotten brittle and broken, which means it's not working anymore. So we'll have to do this the old school way with some paper and or something like that. And hopefully this misses the O-ring seal around here. Hopefully. Probably not though, with my luck. Semi old school. I'll zero on this piece of paper with my touch probe first. So that's, now it's grabbing pretty good here. We'll call that our 0. 0.3 millimeters over. Yeah. Okay. Back in business. That's done without much drama, and the surface is really good. Now the holes, and this tool has not been messed with, I hope. I'm gonna double check just to be sure, and make sure to clean it. Clean the taper, that is. Not the most efficient operation here. I did a bore the whole way down. So the surfaces didn't clean up fully, but I came prepared. With a 1 millimeter lower tool path. So now we've gone from this to this with a slight hiccup along the way. Next operation, the bottom. I need to be able to access the bore, so we'll have to clamp this up in 2 steps. Inconvenient, but that's how it has to be. First up, I need to zero on the bottom face. So hopefully my tool will clear everything here. I should have done that before mounting this, but I think we'll be fine. Like that. Now replace these clamps with a single clamp in the middle. I haven't put the clamping arrangement in the middle here into the software. I think it's worth our time to go inside and do that and make a new file, because earlier I've done this and then at some travel operation the tool has hit the clamp. Okay, it's jumping up and down around 60. Good enough. Yeah, it seems fine now. This is definitely good enough for an exhaust flange. Set 0. 0 there and move 2.1 millimeters this direction, and that's our 0Y. And then move 2.1 millimeters inwards from that. I'll do this with flood coolant because I don't want this to clog. That's as far as we'll get this week. All surfaces machined except the bore, and we need to drill these holes through and tap these holes and these holes. And that's it. I'm gonna contact Emot Racing. They're gonna do the plating and ask them about what kind of what bore size they want for plating. I want to do the bore. I know they can machine it for me, but I really want to do that myself, because then I can put the chamfer in the exhaust port before I send it off, and I know I'll get the chamfer I want, because I want a pretty big chamfer on the exhaust, the roof edge of the exhaust port. Nice doing some machining again. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Thanks for watching.